Hello everyone, I'm Damini, your host for today, and today I have a very special guest with me. Why? Because he's not from corporate, he's not from litigation, but the one who have come straight forward from academics. So today I have with me Dr. Abhishek Gupta, who's an assistant professor at Bennett University Times of India Group. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation on a very short notice.
Thank you very much, Damini. It's a pleasure to be here with you and a very nice chit chat before we just started the interview. So, glad to be here at your forum.
Thank you so much,
So, let's
sir.
start.
So, without taking your much time, I should really ask you this very important question because the audience who are going to watch this video, they'll be a law student, maybe a fresh graduate. So, what about your journey? What about your law school journey? You really need to share it with us. What sort of activities you did when you were in law school? What sort of things you did to enhance your resume?
Okay. So, now you have asked three questions in one. Okay. That's a very clever way of putting it. Okay. So, let me tell you about my journey first of all. If I talk about my journey, I started studying BA Honors Political Science. So, I was in Kirodimal College. and and any student like political science, he always likes to be rebellious and talk about politics and wo jhanda laga ke chalna and all that kind of thing used to come to my mind. And let me tell you that before I started my graduation in 2007, and at that point of time, CLAT was not there, so we were used to fill the individual forms. तो NLSIU का मैं भरना पड़ता था, NLU जोधपुर का भी used to fill and lot many. So eight forms I remember I filled. I got selected in two. Okay, and rest में मेरा selection नहीं हुआ. So my father was asking क्या करना है. मैंने कहा no, I don't want to leave Delhi as of now. I want to stay in Delhi. This is college life after all, so I'll stay in Delhi. So I got admission in BA Honors Political Science KMC. So when I was in KMC, so I developed an interest for constitution, because when you're studying political science, so you it's very natural for you to have a very better understanding of constitution and administration. So I started doing that. I started pursuing that. But my professor, and I was telling you before as well, that I was interested in diplomacy and international relations. That really used to attract me at that point of time. So then after my graduation, I said that let's fill 3 4 forms. I was also confused whether to go for law or not. It gets very confusing sometimes, whether, and especially going into the law field, it becomes a very difficult decision at times. So I filled in for Law Faculty, University of Delhi. I filled in the form, and I also filled for JNU, International Relations. I didn't get through in JNU, but I got through in Law Faculty. And I was like, okay, fine enough. If not international relation, then my interest for constitutional law still stays. So I started pursuing law, and then gradually I developed when many good professors used to teach us. Many, like on criminal law, criminology, constitution, the names which you have just heard or read the books about. So you actually see them, and you can just see them and you talk to them and you just get all the knowledge in just 1 hour of that class, and you just think that you know the constitution. So from there, the interest in law started to go up and up and up and up. And then after my LLB, I was again confused whether to go in research, whether to go in litigation, whether to go in academia. So I pursued my research. I worked with Delhi Judicial Academy as a research associate. Then I worked with Professor MP Singh as his research assistant for some time. And then somebody recommended me, you go for LLM. You have a knack for LLM, you have a knack for knowledge, you have a knack for studies, you're so good in studies, you're getting good marks. So I said, okay, no problem. And I filled in the form and I got selected as well. Without any preparation, without very little preparation, I did, I remember. And I got through, and then it just went like this only. Then LLM, and then I started working with Amity. Then I taught company law. I was given company law to teach, and that was my first experience to teach a commercial paper. I got criminal law papers initially, but then in the next semester I was given company law, and then I started studying the subject. And I would make sure that weekend, we used to have a weekend system kind of thing. Weekend used to be holiday for us. So I used to study company law. I used to talk to my friends who were there in company in transactional litigation. They were there. I used to talk to them to get some of the practical aspects of company law acquainted with. So that's how I started, came in academia. So that was my journey about my law from DA to LLB to LLM to PhD and so far and so forth, and it's still going on. So this was a journey. As far as law, what I did in law school, basically nothing. Trust me. In Delhi University, it's very difficult to do something because when back in 2010, uh, not many things were there with us. Lecture karo, attend karo, and then it is up to you to decide what you want to do. So I used to participate in youth parliament on my own accord. यूथ पार्लियामेंट चल रहे हैं तो मैं यूथ पार्लियामेंट में कभी पार्टिसिपेट कर लिया. कोई कॉन्फ्रेंस चल रही है, some conferences going on, so we'll just write up a paper and present it on our own. So Delhi University never used to put things on us that you have to do this as a part of your curriculum. Do whatever you feel like, do whatever you want to do. Drawbacks or advantage, that's up to you. The more potential you want to derive out of it. I was active in youth parliament, I was active in paper presentation, conference participation. I used to do all these things, but uh, just on my own. कि university ने छोड़ दिया and you have to do things on your own. Decide for yourself. They used to say, this is a central university. You have to decide things for yourself. We are not going to tell you anything. We are going to give you a good lecture. Good professors used to be there. Some okay professors, I would say, but that is everywhere, I guess. I don't blame any particular university for that, but that is everywhere across the board. So that's how it used to go. Opportunity, I got a lot of opportunity to actually write papers. So I started publishing because in LLBs, and I'm talking about 2010, 2011, long back. But when I entered into LLM program, the LLM was more demanding, I must say, because we were expected to conduct activities. We were expected to conduct conferences. We used to conduct seminars. We used to conduct Wednesday seminar. There was one weekly seminar on one particular topic. So it was used to be corporate law, criminal law, constitutional law. So 1 week we are having environment law. 1 week we are having bankruptcy law. One day we are having commercial competition law. So every semester, every week we used to have one particular legal issue where we used to discuss, and I was the student coordinator for that. So I used to conduct it. Okay, so making a lot of coordination efforts, and I used to do that in that respect. Then paper presentation. As we went into LLM, we were expected to write a lot of papers, a lot of dissertation. So I still remember that I authored a paper on interest-free banking. So that was my first research paper. So I started working on that. Then another paper I wrote was on corporate criminal liability. So corporate criminal liability, I started working upon, and from there, another important thing I worked in during my LLM days was going to the Supreme Court to just view some of the commercial litigation which used to happen. So when I was a student coordinator, so one day my ma'am called me up and they said that they want to conduct a Wednesday seminar on competition law. And there was a case going on in the Supreme Court, very important competition matter, and it is still going on. And she told me that you go and see the proceedings there. So I went there. I took a pass from somebody, because we were interns at that. We were to be treated as advocates. So advocates ka cape pehan ke and gown pehan ke, we just went there and we're just taking down notes and all these kinds of background research which I did for conducting that particular seminar. Oh, that was very stressful to begin with, but I got a lot of experience. So that was one part of my learning experience from my academia, from my studies, from my LLM particularly. Because in LLM, the Indian Law Institute was very demanding, I must say. So,
But I should ask this very important question. Like, people have this thing in their mind. I don't know about you, but really want to ask you this question. When you graduated or started doing LLM,
hmm.
when you were like done with LLM, what thing you had in your mind? You wanted a financial stability or something you were just passionate about, you just wanted to go for it?
In LLM, of course, because I still remember I had a talk with my dad that when I just graduated from my LLB, and I was looking. I was working with Professor MP Singh at that point of time, and I got through an LLM. So when I told my father, I was very reluctant to tell him. So I was, stammering at that point of time that, Dad, I was telling my family to begin with. So I told them, and they said that you don't look very happy. So I said that the fees is a little bit steep, and I don't want to burden you. So that was my first statement which I made to you. He said that you want to do it, you have to do it. Money will come at a later stage. And then that thing stuck to my mind. And steep for us. Ekdam achanak se. So I said that no, I'm not going to let this do this to my parents, no. And I need some financial stability when I just post graduate from here. So my journey started with my LLM after the conclusion of my LLM, and then I started asking कि अब क्या करना है. And I was very much clear by my LLM, by the end of my LLM days, that I have to teach, because that really got into me, that I have to teach. I have a passion for teaching, I have a knack for teaching, and everyone else talked about that you're going to become three things. Either you're going to become a diplomat because you're a good talker, either you're going to become a politician because you make big speeches, or you're going to become a professor. So these three options were given to my all my professors, even in my political science classes, in my LLB classes, in my LLM classes. These three things used to come. So I said that okay, teaching is the thing. So I joined Amity Law School, and it always used to be tussle: studies or money, studies or money, studies or money. What to make, what to make, what to make, what to make. But I worked for 1 year in Amity, but then I realized that sometimes you have to favor the Saraswati side of you. You have to appeal to your request to your Saraswati side. That once, because both of these things, the Lakshmi and Saraswati, money and education cannot go in hand in hand. Trust me. You can do studies, but then it will definitely have a quality issue with your studies. Then I left my job at MIT with very heavy heart. I left my job at MIT, and I was actually very job satisfied. I must tell you, I was very happy working there. But then I had to leave, and then I took to PhD. Many people criticize my move, that yeah, this is the time to earn money. You're not earning money. Why you're not earning money? I said no. I have to do my PhD. That's more important, because that's where my mind is going to work to my fullest. And then I did my PhD for 3-4 years. It took me to complete my PhD. But constantly I worked. I made sure that I do my engagements as well, so that I get some pocket money as well for at least sustaining myself, my short expenses which I can get. So that always stayed with me, and I used to keep doing some either ka work, some other work, some research work, some consultancy work, some litigation, minor litigation I used to do. So that's how I used to try to console my Lakshmi side of it, and also pursue my Saraswati side. So that used to go on, and constant tussle which used to go.
But I must say, like you clearly said, that you really need to maintain the balance between
Hmm.
education and money, because right now the youth is very much, worried, especially after this pandemic, the batches of 2020,
Hmm.
2021, and now the 2022. They're very much
Hmm.
worried as to what they're going to do. If they don't get anything, what will they do? Because
Hmm.
financial stability always remains a priority for everyone. But I think those who are
Hmm.
going to watch this video, they can surely understand from you that sometimes it's okay to take a break from your Lakshmi side. What do you call it? Like you really need to take a break if you just want to enhance your skills, because
Yes.
education is very important. And sometimes it's okay if you're not earning anything, but at least you can just build yourself. You can just professionally grow yourself. And
Yes.
only education can do that, right? You can
See.
earn money, you have your full life,
Hmm.
but at least you can take a break, right?
Yes, of course. See, because what happens is we are in constant in race. We're constantly competing, and that competition, what I don't know, I have seen, and people around me have seen, that is always in terms of money. We always compete with other people in terms. Just think about your school life. We were always competing about our education. When we were in school, we were always competing for our grades. We were competing कि उसने science लिया है, I will also take science. That was a competition. Okay. शर्मा जी के बेटे ने साइंस लिया है, उसने कॉमर्स कैसे ली? This constant tussle used to go,
Yeah,
which was
you
a
can
very good.
take both. Just tell them that you've
We
taken both medical and non-medical.
yeah, we never used to talk about monetization or education. Never used to happen. But suddenly, when you come to college and final year, किसी भी degree का, any degree you take, suddenly that shift happens that you start thinking about in monetary terms. You talk to your friends on monetary terms. You try to monetize your education. You try to monetize your degree, which is not a good thing. I personally felt that degree is education. It's a part of knowledge. It might appear philosophical, it might appear theoretical, conceptual, or idealistic, but having done my PhD, and I could proudly say that it was the right decision to take to leave that particular job for the time being. Of course, I had my episodes of self doubt. Many times it used to happen. You see your friends being a corporate lawyer and working in a corporate firm, earning lakhs of rupees, and you are working on your PhD, doing footnoting and citation and all these things. But I must say, I'm sitting in front of you and I love teaching. I'm doing my job. I'm very happy that I did my PhD because that way I could think. Today, if I have to write a paper, I have to talk to people. I know how to do that. How if I have to write a paper, I have to pen down my thoughts. I can do that because of my research skills. I don't have to think twice before doing that. So we have to stop this monetization of degree, monetization of education. Of course, life is there. Life is there. You will earn and you will earn something at the end of. If अगर वकील हो तो कुछ ना कुछ तो कमाल हो गया at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I think self-doubting yourself is the biggest mistake people do. At least just trust yourself, I must say. Okay, you can just doubt yourself because of the insecurities you get from the societal pressures. But at least just trust yourself, trust your decisions, I must say. Be confident of what
Yes,
you are doing. At least that will give you results. Nothing will
I
happen
always
beforehand.
I always tell doubt is good, but not self condemnation.
Exactly.
Self doubt is good, but never condemn yourself.
That's a
You have
failure
taken a
in itself.
decision before.
That's a failure in itself that you don't trust yourself as to what decision you took. If you were not confident about it, then don't take that decision. Nobody forced you, right?
Yes,
This
exactly.
should be the
Exactly.
attitude.
And that this should be, and stop monetizing your degree. Your
Okay.
degree will monetize when the time comes. It will
Exactly.
definitely monetize.
Nothing will
But
happen beforehand. Whatever is supposed to
yes,
be happen, that will happen when the time comes, right?
yes.
Exactly. So
So,
I think that was much more about your college life,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
A
So
lot many things are about my college life. But yes, just to put a capsule to it, so it can go
okay.
like this.
So I think I need to focus one more important area which covers the law school journey as well about the internships, which is a
Mhm.
very critical issue nowadays because people don't
Yes,
get internships in corporates. Sometimes they blame the system, they blame the mismatch between the NLU and non-NLUs. So I really want to ask you this question. How many internships you did when you were in law school?
see, I did, first of all, full disclosure, Delhi University does not have a provision. When I was studying, they did not have a provision for mandatory internship. So,
Okay.
internship again, it is up to you whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it. We had a lot of time at hand. I did three internships,
Hmm.
okay, two with law firms and one with a government organization. So, total 3 years, I did my three internships. Now, what are the problems of not getting internship? Yes, the first divide which we see is NLUs, non-NLUs. Okay. Then another divide we see is for 5 years and 3 years. 5 year students generally take off internship, and 3 year wales are left with the lurch that you are from 3 years. You are too much argumentative about everything. Okay. So this is another problem. Specifically, the students in third year, 3 year law schools face this problem that they face discrimination sometimes as far as the internship opportunities are concerned. Uh, Another divide which I have seen is that NLUs and private universities. This happens. This I have seen. NLUs wale will get a priority, and private universities wale little bit less on a lesser scale, on a lower scale. It happens. So this thing, which and I don't blame the system as well, because that has been institutionalized to a very great extent.
Yeah.
Because the senior associates, the associates, they're from the NLU's background, so they are much more, comfortable with working with the NLU culture. And for them, a person coming from a central university or a 3 year wala or a private university, there is a mismatch which exists. There is a tension which exists, which might exist at some point of time. So that is one thing.
Did you face any sort of problem while accessing the
Oh,
internships?
oh yes, lot many. I told you that the 3 year and the 5 year wala issue. That 5 year, I used to write emails uh, to many of the top tier law firms. So uh, they will say that we are already full. And I'm
We'll
telling you,
get
I
back
used to
to
apply
you.
at least,
We'll get back
and
to
I
you.
and I used to apply at least 6 months
Yeah.
before the
I
at
can
least
even
five.
tell you. I can even tell you that I applied somewhere and they said that they are full till 2025.
Yeah. So see, so this was one thing, and then somehow I got one internship in a corporate firm, which was a good firm, and that too through a contact. And I requested them. He said, "Okay, I'll make sure I'll do it." So that was through contact. Another internship which I did with a corporate firm, it was a good firm as well. Tier one or tier two were there, but again with some kind of approach.
The conversation till now was a very serious one. Now we should just switch to some more informal part of this conversation. Now we're gonna play the
Sure.
rapid fire. Okay. I'll ask you some
Okay.
questions and quickly you have to answer them. You need not think about it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So the first question for you is the percentage of attendance you had in your college.
Uh, More than 70%.
Okay, you were a good student. You need not name out the professor, but you need to tell me, like, was there any professor in your college who used to cut your attendance even if you don't talk?
Yes. Yes.
How many?
In my LLM, my professor of Indian legal system.
But okay. You need not name out, right?
Okay.
That
Okay.
professor
Okay.
might watch your video.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
So the
that
worst
professor will
punishment.
know.
Okay. So the worst punishment you ever got.
In school or in college?
Anywhere. But that should be the worst one.
I was. Oh, this is really tough. I was asked to give a presentation to the whole class because I was talking to someone, and it was a class of over 150 students, and I was not prepared. And she was constantly scolding me that this is the consequence which you pay for not attending my lectures and not listening to me in the class, and 100 students watching you constantly, gazing at
And the
you.
bully pressure, right?
And that and the teacher was very bullied, in a very bullied way. She said that or baat karo, and
और बात करो.
everyone is just watching when you just feel like killing yourself at that point of time.
Exactly.
That is the worst
That
situation.
was the worst punishment, right? But what about the best experience?
In law school, I would say
Anywhere,
that
maybe during the
conducting
professional life as well.
conducting seminars, conducting seminars at Indian Law Institute.
But
That
what
was a
about that
learning
you got
experience.
to know that you got a job? Wasn't that a good experience?
Of course, that is a good experience, but I was talking about my LLM days, my post graduation, because conducting that, you used to meet people, you used to coordinate things, and that was a satisfaction in itself, I
Yeah.
must say.
So the best social media handle?
I don't use social media. I don't. I'm not on.
Not even LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn is there, but it is. I don't consider it as a social media profile.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think it's
more
more of
professional
a.
network. Yeah.
It's more. It's a professional network. I don't see it, but I'm not into social media.
No Facebook, no Instagram, no
No
Snapchat,
Facebook,
just
no
WhatsApp.
Instagram, no. Just WhatsApp is just for the purpose, for the heck of it, not
Yeah.
using it. Not a social media guy.
Who's your mentor?
Who's my mentor?
Hmm.
My criminal law professor, Professor MP Singh, whom I consider as my mentor, because he really taught me many things about my research. So I consider him as my mentor.
What's your area of expertise?
Criminal law remains my area of expertise, but banking and insurance, of course. In commercial side, banking and insurance. Now I'm teaching corporate finance to my students and you
Yeah.
also. So I do a daily. I make sure that I give my lectures in a way that it looks like that some
That's
corporate
correct.
person is doing.
Yeah. But let me ask you a very, very important question. If I give you a chance to change your profession, what would it be and why?
I would like to become a diplomat now.
Any
I
other
would like to
informal thing? Any other informal thing?
any other informal thing. Then I would like to become a YouTube influencer, I think.
Oh wow. You don't even use social media and you want to become a
But I
YouTuber.
definitely would like to try it. No, I definitely would like to try
Then
it.
start using Instagram at least. Okay, that's a
Maybe,
priority.
maybe. Of course, who knows?
Start populating your videos through Instagram. No, there from there your reach increases. So you should do that.
Now I'm with the students, no, so I'll get used to all these things. I'm sure my students will
Exactly.
definitely help me out. My students will definitely help me out.
Okay. If I give you a situation that you're the producer or a director of a movie, what
Hmm.
theme would you go for?
Life of a law student.
Why?
Because first of all, nobody thinks about law students. All people think about people is a lawyer.
Huh.
The struggles of a lawyer, the struggles of a advocate. We have two movies on it. That LLB wala, Jolly LLB.
Yeah,
But who thinks about law students? Law students के ऊपर कभी कोई filter copy भी मैंने कुछ नहीं देखा.
exactly.
Never saw something on filter copy about lawyers. So I think law students are the best fit कि उनके ऊपर एक picture बननी चाहिए that the struggle they have to go to find the internships and the struggle they have to go for placements, for job, their
Yeah.
struggles in life in general. So lot many things. So
Okay.
they इंजीनियरिंग के बारे में सब सोचते हैं, मैनेजमेंट के प्रेशर के बारे में सब सोचते हैं, लॉ स्टूडेंट्स के प्रेशर के बारे में कोई नहीं सोचता. Nobody
Okay.
thinks about.
So चाहेंगे हम. Maybe you can just produce a movie, right?
Yeah, that's why that is a theme.
Okay. So I think I'm done with the rapid fire, and you've actually won the round because you've clearly given the answers. So I think now I should really ask a very simple question that's very important as well, because the people who are watching this video, they are fresh graduates, they are the students who are in third, fourth, fifth year. So
Hmm.
what are the things that really law students who are into third or fourth year really need to know, or they really need to follow those steps if they are aiming for a PPO in a law firm, if they are choosing to enter into litigation, joining any chamber, or they just want to go ahead with LLM? What are the things
Okay.
that they should, know?
See, first of all, these three are completely different fields of work. So again, you have put three questions in one. So I'll try to, just categorize it. First of all, as far as the litigation is concerned, litigation is the most traditional way of entering into legal professional space. We all agree to about that. So students who are interested, they need not think about LLM, and they should start with the district court because there it's the place where the law happens actually. Whatever sees in Supreme Court and High Court is very refined, but you have to see the litigation to the roughest edges, the rough edge of the litigation, the rough edge of the law, when there is a discussion about, when there is a deliberation about facts, actually the law in place, law in motion, you go to the district court. Start with the district court. अगर एक बार हाई कोर्ट एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट की आदत पड़ गई, then you cannot do that litigation. That litigation is very refined. I'm not saying that they don't do hard work, but that is very refined. At least in Delhi, I can say, because I worked in Delhi High Court for some time. The kind of arguments, the kind of paperwork, the kind of proceedings which go on, very refined. But good things happen in, and the most funniest thing happens in district court, especially those interested in practicing in the area of criminal law. Okay, so they can go to the sessions court. So my suggestion would be that if you're entering into litigation, if you have a knack for litigation, then at least try for 1 or 2 years, 1 or 2 years with the district court. Don't go straight away to the high court. Don't go straight away to the Supreme Court. Next, for LLM, those who want to pursue LLM. Now, LLM can be pursued from two perspectives. One is an academic perspective. What I feel is one is for academic purpose, and one is for just gaining some extra, some expertise, some extra additional expertise. So, students who are into academia, like I was, So I knew that my interest is research. My calling is research. So I pursued my LLM from that perspective. I entered into LLM. It was a more or less a research degree at that point of time. And Indian Law Institute was famous for research. So when I entered into ILI, I had a very single thing in mind, that research and teaching. So I was very much clear about my objectives. And when I came out of my LLM program, I got a job. I started working with Amity. I I went into teaching profession only after that. Okay, but if you want to, for instance, students sometimes go for a LLM in corporate law or some other kind of law. I have always recommended. Even one of my friend is pursuing his LLM. He worked in law firm for many years. Okay, and then as an additional degree, he went for LLM from Singapore. So now he's pursuing his LLM from Singapore because he wanted to do something more in corporate law. He was getting a little bit bored in the law firm environment. So he said that I just want to study something for the time being. So he switched. But just for 1 year, he went to Singapore, returned, and that was a kind of a sabbatical for him. एक साल का sabbatical for him कि वो बाहर गया. He just read something, he studied something, and returned to the law firm, and then got a better package because his LLM was an international taxation. So that really helped him out. Okay, and about third and fourth year for PPOs, pre-placement offer. I think students, first of all, I will suggest all the students. They generally PPOs का when I see that they have a mind कि हमें engineering वालों की तरह package मिल जाएगा and management वालों की तरह package मिल जाएगा. But I will always tell them with with a very cautious approach that be a little bit cautious. You are not engineers, you are not management, you are lawyers. In PPO, yes, there are PPOs in law firms as well, but उनका proportion बहुत कम है. इतना नहीं है जितना इंजीनियर्स के केस में देखते हैं, जितना मैनेजमेंट ट्रेनी के केसेस में देखते हैं. So be realistic about it. Don't go into a law firm with an expectation of a PPO. But make sure whatever work you're doing it perfectly well. There is no question of wrong work being done in a law firm, at least in tier 1 law firms, because your every move is watched by a reporting senior or by the partner. If they are going to make you a PPO, or if they intend to make a PPO, they will be watching your every move. Bear this thing in mind. You are not going to internship for excursion. There is no scope. Tier 1, tier 2, a very good law firm. There is no place for excursion. Go with a very serious bent of mind, because people sitting in the HR, they are watching you. Maintain a very professional relationship with the HR and your reporting senior, because what happens is uh, when you go to a law firm, generally it is an HR which interfaces with you. Then it's a reporting senior. He or she may be an associate, a senior associate, and over there will be a principal associate might be there, or a partner might be there. But everyone's feedback is taken at the end of the day. One of my friends was working who went to Singapore. So he told me that we used to get a feedback form at the end of the day about this particular intern, that what works did you assign him? Okay. And what was the level of his or her seriousness? And that you have to do. And he was in a tier 1 law firm, I must tell you. I'm not just disclosing it, but he's in a tier 1 law firm. And he told me that our feedback is very important. And if an HR feels that this is not a serious candidate, and if even one of them gives a very wrong feedback, then the PPOs go out of the picture. So take your job very seriously. Do whatever work is given to you on time. Don't procrastinate about things. Ki kar lenge. And don't be very casual about your law firm, because your every move is watched very carefully, and not by your partner, not by everyone across.
That's very scary. I must say that I'm really into corporate. I really want to
You
join
are into,
corporate.
see, there is a very conservative, because they're hiring, they're going to give you great packages. Okay, they're going to give you very great packages, a wonderful job opportunity, a wonderful exposure they are going to give you. But what they, at a very start of your career, and legal But you have to perceive, you have to do your hard work. You need to have your facts straight. You have to have a very proper body language when you're working. So that is really important, and you have to keep your everything in coordination with the HR, with your reporting senior, with your partner. So, and if they if you're able to hook them up, then there is no stopping. Then you will get a PPO, and they will give you PPO. But student must not go to an internship with an expectation of a PPO, because
That should
PPO
fall
in
on
legal
place
profession,
by God. That should fall on your lap. That you really deserved it
that
and you got a PPO.
yes, exactly, that will fall in your lap if you're good enough, if you're working hard, and if you're going in a law firm which is going to hire. So
Exactly.
that must keep
Like
in
that
mind.
should be a kind of gift, no? That you really worked hard. You were not even expecting, but you got a PPO. You got to know that you really worked very hard.
Exactly.
That's a
It is
wish
not
come true,
placement.
no? That's a dream come true.
Yes. And
When
student must take
when
it
you
that
just
way.
go somewhere with the thing that, okay, I should get a PPO, you'll just fake it, right? You'll try to do a lot of hard work even if you don't want to.
Yes, exactly.
Even if you're not
Exactly. But
liking the work culture, but still you'll portray that you're really liking the work culture.
hmm,
That's
but
a good
students
thing.
have to take, students have to, they are interns and they have to be serious.
Yeah. Okay. So that was about the things that they really need to care about if they're just focusing on something. But I should ask that, like, what are the important skills that every law student, should possess? Every law student should know about these skills. That wherever they wanna go, which sector they wanna go, but these skills are very important.
First of all, your speaking skills, communication. Communication is key in this profession. Legal profession may it is everything about what you speak and how you are able to communicate.
How you're presenting yourself,
You
right?
you go to law firm, you go into litigation, you go into teaching, academia. All that is matter is going to how you communicate.
Hmm.
One thing, how much to say, and they must realize it. That's why you have a 5 year law school, na? 5 year वाला आपको सब सीखना पड़ता है धीरे धीरे.
From the very
That's how you
beginning.
communicate. Moot court, youth parliaments, okay, taking part in the competitions. Very important nowadays. Nowadays, it has become much more demanding.
Because
Back
of the
in
competition around you, know, because of the
competition
number of
has increased.
people that are there.
Competition has increased, and so has to your communication skills have to be at very top notch. Presentable. You have to be presentable. Another important skills which many students miss out is writing. Writing is very important. How well you are able to draft things, how able you are grammatical errors. There is no scope for grammatical errors in law. Poor, because people who are the principal associates, who are the partners, they first thing that they point out is grammar, legal legal writing and grammar. And if you lack these skills, usi din red pen say your all the briefs are going to be marked.
And I think that
So
should be
that's
taught
why,
in the law school.
yes, that is to be. That's why you have your assignments. You develop those skills.
But do you really think that the
I think.
hybrid mode is going to correct that issue?
Sorry,
Do you
didn't
really
hear
think
you.
that this online system or hybrid system will really correct the students about the grammatical mistakes that are they're having?
See, first of all, there are some challenges associated with the hybrid mode or the online mode. I totally agree that being in an online mode, certain things cannot happen. But at the end of the day, when you are writing, when you are writing something, what you can do is you can always email your professor. That's I have written this. What is the problem with this? In LLM, what we used to do, we used to write a rough draft of our research paper or any write-up we used to do. And I made sure that I send it to my one of my most uh, a professor who is going to critique it, not who is going to just say it's a good written if
It's a
you're it
good
is
one,
written
yeah.
by you. So I always used to send the most hardest professors I had, and they will see, and then they will come up with a lot of red pens and all that, and that's why I know that यहाँ पे गलती हुई.
Hmm.
This is where I went wrong. So I knew. that this is my weakness, this is my short point, and I have to correct it. We used to have peer group discussions. What we used to do is, in our LLM, back in LLM days, we used to discuss our research papers. If you have written one research paper, we used to discuss it among ourselves. And then what used to happen? We used to critique each other. We used to
Hmm.
debate a lot.
I think this
And
is
that
not
used to
being done now, right?
students have to take certain initiatives on their own, because college is all about self making. You have to make yourself again and again, all by yourself. Sometimes
Great.
faculty can help you out to an extent. They can help you out to an extent, because in by college you become free. You need freedom,
Yeah. You wanna enjoy the
right?
college life, right? The bachelor life.
That is the whole. That is the whole thing. Uh, I still remember. I don't recollect any time my faculty ever, sat with me and talked about me. They used to give a very good lecture, wonderful lectures,
Hmm.
mesmerizing. And when they left, they won't return for us. They'll
Yeah.
ask something. Never, never. एक बार पढ़ा दिया, and they used to leave the room, lecture hall, with all
Their
kind of
job is
arrogant.
done. Their job is
The
done.
job was done. But and rest of the thing we used to do on our own.
Yeah.
Peer group discussion करना है, research paper discussion करना है, we used to do on our own. Students, that's how we used to learn things. And we learned in the process. We learned on the duty. That should be the spirit.
That's great. That's really great to know that, you people did a lot of activities to just help each other. And I think people
Yes.
who's going to watch this video, you really need to understand that, helping your peers, helping your fellow mates will correct yourself as well. Don't think that there's a competition, he will grow more, he'll professionally get a lot of opportunities. Then we know that's not the case. Whatever is meant for you, you will get it, right? But at least just help others to let them know as to where they're wrong. At least you can also get an idea as to what you
Exactly.
can do to improvise yourself.
Exactly. I totally agree. Because that is where sometimes things get, messed up. Students don't want to discuss. कुछ चुरा लेगा,
Huh.
कुछ वो आगे निकल जाएगा, उसके
Even they
ग्रेड
tell
ज्यादा
the
आ जाएंगे.
faculty as well, don't share my paper with anyone, huh, sir? I've done a lot of hard work.
That has to go. Or even if you don't trust people, then do it with your close friends, with your
Yeah.
peers. That's what the whole point.
And never
Every
think your
student
friends are
has
not capable enough. Anyone
every
can give
student
you
has
any
at
sort
least
of
three or
grade.
four friends. Every student has 3 or 4 friends in college. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm very much sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Discuss among themselves and try to do things on your own. And trust me, that thing you will learn by your heart.
Exactly.
You will learn by your heart.
So I think this
Because
is yeah.
whatever we learned, how to arrange for books, how to do a citation, how to research, we all learned on our own sometimes. Teacher used to play a very supplementary role sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, they will just give you some broad guidelines that ye kar lo, and that you're good to go. And then we will say कि ठीक है मैम ने इतना बता दिया सर ने इतना बता दिया and now how to do about it. Then I'll ask from other friend, okay, then I'll some seniors, okay, and then I'll sit on the job and I'll start doing it. And then I realize, okay, यहाँ पे गलती हो रही है. Then I'll ask my another friend to help me out. And that's how we learned. That and still it stays with me. Research हमने ऐसे ही सीखी. How to do a research. Teacher used to take a lecture on research methodology. I don't know whether you guys have there or not, but lectures होते थे. But then we learned in the process. सब कुछ. Books खुद पढ़ के देखना, खुद articles देखना, students से पूछना, and we learned. And I hope I'm doing good.
Even I
I'm
also
sure.
remember there's a professor in my college. I used to mail him every time. So give me a topic for a research paper. He used to send
Hmm.
me, but like he was from humanities background. Till then, I did not have any sort of interest in corporate. So I used to write a lot of papers or blogs, and then I used to send him. So this is what I've
Hmm.
written. So please correct it. But I never shared
Hmm.
it with my friends. Even I also admit. Even I also never
But
did that.
sometimes it's good to share.
Yeah.
I developed my
Sharing
paper.
is caring, no?
I wrote
Sharing
one
is
paper.
caring.
I wrote one paper on some aspect of criminal law. and I was not very sure whether I've written it good. So I discussed this thing with my some of my friends, and they come with diametrically opposite views about it. And they told me that this is the wrong approach which you're taking. You just correct it that way. Just edit this part, and it will become a very good paper. And then I started working on it, and I corrected certain things, changed certain things, and it was a good paper, and it got published in a very good journal. So see, talking to a
Yeah.
friend helped me out so much.
ऐसे ही नहीं बोलते हैं लोग, sharing is caring.
Uh, maybe. For some it is, but for me, it was personally a very good experience to share with
Yeah,
my peers.
that's great. That's
Not
good
with
to know.
everyone you have to share, not with everyone you have to share, but at least all of us have someone who's trustworthy. I'm sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think till now we've covered all your experiences, like whatever you said, you just portrayed like what you experienced, what you felt, and what are the cases you have dealt with. So I think now we
Hmm.
should just wrap up the session. But before just ending up the session, I would really like to ask you any sort of suggestion, any sort of recommendation for everyone who's going to watch this video, be it a law professor, be it a law professional, be it the one who's working in a law firm, be it a law student, be it a fresh graduate. So, what's your message for them?
Hmm. Oh, that is a very broad target
Yeah,
audience
just
you
a
have chosen
generalized
into.
recommendation for everyone. Chalo, let's
Generalized
go for a young
recommendation.
professional or even a law student.
Never doubt yourself, and I'll give you a reason why. There, if and even if you're going to doubt, that is natural, but never condemn your decisions, because that reflects your state of mind at that point of time, which was correct. I have done many things, and today I can go back and say मैंने वो decision क्यों लिया, why I did, but I think that decision was correct at that point of time, because that reflected my state of mind at that point of time,
Yeah.
which was correct. So always have faith in yourself, always trust yourself, doubt yourself. There is no harm in doubting yourself. A human being must doubt himself or herself, but don't condemn. Never, never condemn yourself.
So I think
Never
that's
be
a
hard
good
on
piece of advice. Yeah, that's a good piece of advice because what we have seen now that the young generation is actually very critical. They just get emotional sometimes and take big steps in life. So I
you.
think the main reason behind that is they start doubting themselves. They don't have the confidence of accepting the decision which they took, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's
They
a good
don't
piece of advice.
own up your responsibilities, and always think about long term,
And I
never
think
short
never
term.
have a fear of taking your responsibility. Nobody's going to take your responsibility. You are the one who's going to take
You
it.
will, you
So
have
just
to, and
go
don't
ahead
expect.
with fear. I think that's a positive fear.
Exactly. And number and
This we can just wrap up the session. And once again, my heartfelt gratitude to you for accepting my invitation on a very short notice. And I must tell the viewers that it's 11:30 p.m. and we're still recording. People
oh,
should know this, right?
yeah,
Thank you
of
so much.
course.
Thank you so much for the
Thank you
session.
very much, Damini. Pleasure talking to you. Okay, and all the best. All the
Thank you
best
so much.
for your program, your channel, which you are doing, and it's a good job. It's a great job. Lot of responsibility, but I'm sure that you're going to do very well wherever you go. Okay,
Thank
so
you
it
so
is just bringing you a lot of value addition. Okay, so it's actually a good skill which you are creating for yourself. So keep doing the good work, and thank you.
Thank you so much.